Everyone knows about the art scenes in Toronto, Montreal and Vancouver, but what about Lethbridge, Sudbury or Victoria? In CBC Arts' new series, i.e. Art, My City, a local artist offers an insider's guide to the city they call home. Here, local arts journalist Wendy Rose shows you her St. John's. Perched on the edge of the Atlantic, on the most easterly tip of North America, there is a big little city I call home. With influence from the Irish, French, English and Indigenous peoples, Newfoundland and Labrador's unique culture is cultivated by over 500 years of determination, hardship, isolation, predictably unpredictable weather, community kinship and salt fish. Today, the island has a population of about 500,000 people, with 100,000 of them settled in scenic St. John's. With a huge and vibrant arts and entertainment scene, mainlanders, from all land masses, have been repeatedly tempted to relocate to this wonderfully strange foreign land. Though the fog, wind, rain and cold temperatures may inspire you to layer up in Newfoundland, our amazing art scene will entertain, inspire, stimulate and hopefully influence. After all, we don't live here for the weather. From a born and raised Newfoundlander, proud downtownie and part-time bayman, here's the ultimate guide for getting on the go in St. John's. Jellybean Row. If we were going to call any neighborhood Jellybean Row, it would have to be this block on Kings Road, looking toward Duckworth Street, Wendy Rose the street. John's downtown core is filled with cute, brightly colored houses, hence the Jellybean moniker. However, Jellybean Row is a bit of a myth. There is no specific block or street that boasts the iconic name. Find your favorite color combination by getting lost in the downtown residential area. My personal favorite is my old apartment on Prospect Street, lovingly dubbed the Cotton Candy House, with its baby blue paint and light pink trim. The streets between Duckworth Street and Military Road offer some of the best views. After loading up on drool-worthy Instagram snapshots, cool down your sensory overloaded moo-moos. The black and white cow print ice cream shop will stand out amongst the rainbow row houses. Art gallery crawl. My grandmother, pictured candidly, spoke about her father's time in the First World War, my first time ever hearing her recount those tough memories, as we perused the Beaumont Hamel and the Trail of the Caribou exhibit at the Rooms. Wendy Rose, a 2005 Hill Strategies research study on creative neighborhoods, Perched Street. John's as having 4 times the national average of artistic concentration in the A1C postal code. And with a high concentration of artists comes a high number of art galleries. All in the A1C. Check out Red Ochre Gallery, Eastern Edge Gallery, Christina Parker Gallery, Leighton Gallery of Fine Art, Emma Butler Gallery, Hancock 80 Gallery, Ultramarine Fine Art Studio, Gerald Squires Art Gallery, Richard Steele Gallery, Craft Council of Newfoundland. How many can you hit in one day? The Battery. This is one of the many gorgeous views from the Battery, looking toward the downtown core. Wendy Rose. Before climbing the mini mountain to the Signal Hill National Historic Site, take a jaunt down through the Battery, one of the most iconic neighborhoods in St. John's. The tiny two-way street is not for novice drivers. This is a road best traveled on foot. Before heading out Battery Road, hop on the App Store and download Inside Outside Battery, a location-based audio tour that fills your ears with tidbits and tales from the neighborhood. Created by passionate Battery resident Chris Brooks, the app aims to add a layer of human experience to the sights and sounds. Fort Amherst. Alt-rock band Modest Mouse were wrong. You really shouldn't talk shit about a pretty sunset. Head out to Fort Amherst on Southside Road and soak in the day's remaining golden rays. Wendy Rose. Since you've already been through the Battery, let's flip the script on the views you just took in. Head across the St. John's Harbor, traveling out Southside Road to historic Fort Amherst. Dating back to the late 1700s, Fort Amherst holds notable historical significance for St. John's. It defends the Narrows, the harbor's only entrance. These days, the fort serves as a sightseeing destination, giving visitors a panoramic view of the city skyline and access to the harborfront, uninterrupted by the north side's heavily protested and widely criticized harborfront security fence. Women's History Walking Tour. The Shea Rendell House at 82 Cochrane Street looks much different in 2018 than it did in 1892, just after the Great Fire. Head to the corner of Cochrane and Military Street for a current view of Margaret Alexandra Rendell, Shea's former home. Shea was the province's first professionally trained nurse, and the first woman in Newfoundland to own a car. She was known to drive at reckless speeds. Geography collection of the Archives and Special Collections Division, Memorial University. If your feet aren't tired yet, the Women's History Walking Tour may just take the good out of ya, as Mother would say. Created by the Women's History Group in 1997, the Women's Walking Tour is a rich resource of interesting information about the many influential and inspiring women of yesteryear. The table of contents from the 1997 pamphlet is still available online, listing just over 30 individuals and groups who made their way into the male-dominated history books. Each name and title brings you to a page of information about the person, group, and includes addresses of historic sites and the private homes of these early feminists. Employ Google Maps to find your destination, reading en route about the fierce female associated with the location, transcending time as you channel their energy and share this familiar view. Fred's Records. Fred's Records is a major destination for music enthusiasts and artists alike, like Canadian bands July Talk, Repartee and By Divine Right, pictured above. Past visitors include James Taylor, John Prine, Gord Downie, Bryan Adams, Lorena McKenna, David Bowie and so many more. Wendy Rose. The historical boasting continues at Fred's Records, the province's oldest independent record store, going steady since 1972. Located on Duckworth Street, the purple and yellow shop may even be the oldest record store in Canada after the April closure of Ontario's Moondance, also established in 1972. In its 46 years, Fred's has been an institution in the local music scene, acting as a launching point for musical careers, consistently giving local artists a place to stock their works, and providing free entertainment and promotion through in-store performances. Find your favorite music in any physical format, as Fred's stocks vinyl records, CDs, cassette tapes, DVDs and more. And don't miss out on the massive local selection. The knowledgeable staff can help you out when you get overwhelmed by choice. Full disclosure, I'm a very part-time employee, but it's such a legendary shop that I hear stories of people who travel to NL just to hit Fred's, Quidi-Vidi and the Quidi-Vidi Brewery. Despite its harsh name, the gut, it is the definition of quaint, cute, and kitschy, like the rest of Quidi-Vidi. Wendy Rose, a fishing village once upon a time. Quidi-Vidi, pronounced Kitty-Vidi, is another historic neighborhood that has prospered and bloomed from bringing new ideas into old spaces. Stare out into the Quidi-Vidi harbor, referred to locally as the gut, from inside Quidi-Vidi Brewery, the province's largest microbrewery. Sip on an iceberg beer, made with water collected from actual icebergs, and envision the neighborhood in the 1800s. Solidify that vision by snagging a bite at nearby Mallard Cottage, one of the oldest wooden buildings in North America. If you're in the capital city in early August, check out the Regatta, a series of rowing competitions that holds the title of North America's oldest annual sporting event. Yeah, we're old. Late-night nightlife. The annual George Street Festival draws a large crowd to the small street. Dozens of well-known Canadian bands have graced the stage, like Blue Rodeo, pictured above. Wendy Rose. The legendary George Street is just that, legendary. Featuring the most bars per capita and allegedly, the most bars per square kilometer in Canada, or so I've been told, been telling people. A pedestrian-only street during its prime nighttime hours, George Street is lined with bars, pubs, clubs, and restaurants, all offering diverse experiences. Get rowdy at an Irish bar before twerk and at a dance club, or take in a variety of genres of live music. If you stumble off of George Street, check out some other gems like the Ship Pub, the Black Sheep, Aaron's Pub, the Duke of Duckworth, the Crow's Nest Officers Club, or the Inn of Old. Remember to rest up before you get messed up. In Newfoundland, bars stay open until 3 a.m. and serve liquor until 2 a.m., coincidentally the same time that corner stores stop selling beer. Churches and cemeteries. The Basilica of St. John the Baptist is also home to Giovanni Strauss's stunning marble sculpture, the Veiled Virgin. Sent from Italy, the Veiled Virgin arrived in St. John's in 1856. Wendy Rose, cleanse yourself of your George Street sins on Sunday morning. St. John's has a number of gorgeous churches that double as architectural gems. The Basilica, Gower Street United Church, the Anglican Cathedral, Cochrane Street United Church, and St. Patrick's Catholic Church will delight and enlighten, and many churches also have museums and tours. When I travel, I like to take independent tours, typically foregoing the church in favor of its cemetery. St. John's graveyards typically offer lovely views, beautiful foliage, a dose of history, and the usual startling self-awareness of one's own mortality, but in a good way. The Anglican Cemetery on Forest Road, the General Protestant Cemetery on Waterford Bridge Road, and Mount Carmel Roman Catholic Cemetery off the Boulevard are my top 3 personal favorites. East Coast Trail. The Signal Hill portion of the East Coast Trail is easily accessible from the downtown core. There's an added bonus too. You can incorporate a trip through the Battery on your hike. Wendy Rose, had enough of the city? Immerse yourself in nature's rugged beauty via the East Coast Trail. With over 300 kilometers of trails to choose from, the ECT is like a choose-your-own-adventure book. The many trails pass through over 30 communities around the Avalon Peninsula, featuring 8 different lighthouses and an infinite number of unique and breathtaking views. Ranging from 2 kilometers to nearly 18 kilometers, hikers can choose their trail based on a number of factors: location, difficulty, length and time. In between snapping pictures of jaw-dropping cliffs shaped by an unruly ocean, keep an eye out for local wildlife like seabirds, seals, whales, moose and more, as well as flora and fauna like the carnivorous pitcher plant, the provincial floral emblem which can be found in bogs and marshes. Just do us a favor, leave our badass emblem in the bog where it belongs. More local arts essentials. Book, Annabelle by Kathleen Winter. Movie, Maudie album, The Body Knows by Green. I've Demons by Robert Chafe. TV show, Codclo comedian, Michael Lynch, and his alter egos Cecil O'Brien and Randy Lee. Visual artist, Philippa Jones. Poet, Agnes Walsh. Check back every week as we add new guides.